everybody. Thanks for tuning in to Lucky Lotus Podcast, episode 19. I'm Jimmy.
I'm Brijesh.
Where can they find us, bud?
They can find us on X. They can find us on Facebook. They can find us on Instagram.
I'm not your buddy, pal.
You're my brother.
Hey, you ever seen that on South Park? I'm not your buddy, pal. I'm not your pal, buddy. I'm not your friend, pal.
No, but
Yeah, it's like the Canadians. It's just so funny. Like, we'll get into it, but like somebody said this week on social media that Jeff Bezos' new wife looks like Canadians on South Park. Where like their heads move like that.
I can see it. Would this be episode?
She had a lot of work. This would be.
Is this 19 or 18?
This would be 19. I thought last one was 18.
Are
we going to do this every podcast?
No. I thought last one was 17.
Is it?
Well, yeah, I think so. That was episode 17.
All right, episode 18.
Episode 18.
Episode 18.
Because we just did an episode with Trey.
So X, Spotify, Instagram, Apple Podcasts,
there we go.
Facebook, TikTok, YouTube. Ring that bell on YouTube. We got a contest going. What's the contest?
So the contest is that once we hit our 1,000 subscribers, we're going to run a lottery, and whoever wins this lottery, and we'll do a live drawing so everyone can see where we pick a name out of a bucket.
What do they get, chat?
So they get to go on a dinner date with me and Jimmy, and they probably platonic, and they probably get to do an interview with us too. And so we're going to take them to the Memphis Pyramid. Bass Pro Shop is the shining gem of Memphis.
We're throwing that in. We will either send you rendezvous ribs or you can go to dinner with us if you do not live in the Memphis area.
Yeah.
And you will also be able to do an episode with us. And if you're local or if you're not, we'll do it on Zooms or Teams or something.
We'll figure it out. But hey, guys, just please. So far, we've reached 140 followers, which is amazing. Subscribers. And we finally crossed the threshold on YouTube. So guys, just help us get to 1,000 too and help us grow.
We're trying to get monetized. We're here for you, chat.
Yeah, but this has been a great journey because you and I both thought that we weren't going to get past.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah,
we haven't even hit 6 months yet.
We haven't. So we're already past 100, and we're looking for 1,000. Just come and
90
please
days
support
in.
us and help us.
I just did something I've never done, which my tongue just hit the mic cover.
And there we go.
I don't like that.
It's your mic cover now.
It's my mic cover now. So thanks for tuning in. Episode 18. We're going to kick it off. Brijesh is going to talk about some recently discovered healthcare fraud. Before he does that, I just want to say thanks for all our advertisers. Thanks for all our listeners. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for the comments, whether they're hateful or what.
I love how you emphasize on that.
Yeah,
I got your back.
That. So let's. I'm going to give a air horn for all the hateful comments. It's going off. It's going off for real. All right.
Okay, so let's get into this healthcare fraud. So Dr. Oz and the DOJ, they cracked down on almost $14.6 billion in bogus claims. Mm-hmm. So basically what this entails is, and I just want to get the facts right.
And this is part of Doge or this is not part of Doge?
This is not part of Doge.
Okay.
I don't think Doge is a thing anymore.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so the DOJ just pulled off the largest healthcare fraud takedown in U.S. history, which I just recently mentioned, $14.6 billion in bogus claims. Fed stopped most of the damage before it hit. So almost 324 people have been charged so far. And they're...
with like fake claims, like they didn't get the service?
Claims, but these were like 96 medical professionals, and their assets have been seized. So this includes their crypto, any cars, any luxury items they bought, their houses, which is crazy. So far, almost, where is this?
That reminds me, Dr. Sanjeev has filed a motion to dismiss, I believe, in his case. Episode 1 callback.
No, even episode 2, because it's crazy he can still practice.
But go on.
Okay, so back to this takedown. So almost over $200 million have been repossessed by the U.S. government. And what this basically includes is the operation was called Operation Gold Rush. So basically, this involved international criminals from Russia, Pakistan, Estonia, and also doctors and nurses from the United States. Whereas okay, so this is how it went down. Criminals bought 30-plus Medicare DMEs, or durable medical equipment companies, using fake IDs, submitted $10.6 billion in claims, mostly for urinary catheters that nobody asked for. Over 1 million Americans' identities were stolen and used in the scam. Feds caught it early. Only $41 million was paid out, less than 1% before they shut it down. And the assets that were seized were over $245 million. So it's just... Basically, the way they caught it is they're not going to mention this with Palantir that we've talked about multiple times. This is one of the benefits that comes from it. It can mass aggregate data, and they can see that like these specific companies are doing over 10 billion false claims have been filed by these like collective companies, these medical equipment companies have been bought by Russians, Pakistanis, and Estonians. So
hell yeah, just trying to get their money out of their own economy.
It's the money. It's the money that's coming from our pockets that we pay in taxes. So the money.
Oh, they're filing fake claims and getting the money for it. Okay,
it's basically. Hopefully, it's not us, but 1 million Americans' identities have been stolen, and using their stolen identity, they've been filing claims with the government.
Well, yeah, that's kind of like if you run a major corporation, how many times do you think you get a duplicate invoice, let alone a fraudulent invoice?
Yeah, it's just the fact that it's okay. Our medical system that we talked about is already so overwhelmed, and the fact that you have these foreign actors, like not even foreign actors, they're doctors here in cahoots with these foreign actors getting kickbacks and whatever, and they're going out of their way to make the healthcare system even worse. Makes no sense. It's just. What we talked about in the beginning, what's the difference between an investor and a doctor?
I don't know.
An investor doesn't think he's a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things where these people you think that take the Hippocratic oath to help their patients, but they're going out of their way to make one more buck for their Rolex or one more buck for their yacht, because to them it's not even about helping people. It's about how much money they can put in the bank. And which is really sad that our state's like gotten to this point that you no longer care. I mean, I guess this has been going on forever. You no longer care about your patients. That it is just how much can I milk you for the money that you have.
Yeah, I believe like the top 3 industries in the world are insurance, healthcare, and oil.
Which is horrible to think. It's just like
that's where the money is.
I mean, we always rail against.
Follow the money.
How much would $14.6 billion, how beneficial would it be if it went back to the Americans that was supposed to help?
What about some of the people out there probably think that's a drop in the bucket because the U.S. national debt is like approaching, what, 40 trillion?
Dude, it's crazy to wrap your head around that number and how you even can combat that.
Lower rates.
But it's just, I don't know how much this ties into it, like healthcare denials. Like when you file a claim, kind of makes sense now why it's up to 90%.
You want to hear my Jerome Powell impression?
Let me hear it.
Good afternoon.
And then the market drops.
There's a bet right now on all those websites where you can bet on everything, like Kalishi and I'm forgetting the major Poly Market. That's what will be the first word that Jerome Powell says for his speech, or how many times will he say inflation. So the top bet is will he start the speech with good afternoon, which he has done like 9 out of 10 times or 10 out of 10 times.
That could be insider trading. What if he knows about this Poly Market?
Good afternoon. Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, they busted one of the players in the NBA for possibly doing like betting fraud, like hitting the over and dunking the ball when he didn't need to at the end of the game and stuff like that.
But can you really
everyone's wildly
Can you
aware
really
of it.
go after the SEC chairman?
I don't know. He's not SEC. He's the Fed chairman.
Oh, never mind.
Jerome Powell, and he only makes $190,000 a year. He said that.
Oh, he does. Okay,
yeah.
So what's his net worth?
But he gets like a huge like all that stress for $190K a year.
Yeah, I doubt it's $190K. There's no way he's only.
I don't know. That's what's been reported. Brijesh, you can fact check me if you want.
I'll fact check you later. Or you know what? The chat can do it. The chat's really good at that.
So you got $200 million there in the public sector, right? For the government,
which we've recovered so far.
Let me give you the private sector update that Robinhood Markets has pioneered, like stock tokenization. So basically, starting this month, it allows European Union customers to trade over 200 U.S. stocks and ETFs, but they're tokens. It's like you have a Nike token, a Nvidia token, an Apple token, a Microsoft token, a Tesla token. Like you would trade Sol. So it's all based on the Solana blockchain.
Oh my God. Okay. You know what? My crypto years are coming back to me. Mm-hmm. So basically you're saying you've tokenized this. They're basically become like the stocks, the shares themselves have become individual tokens. So you're not buying the whole share.
I tried to explain this to somebody. It's not that because you can buy little pieces of shares now. You can buy fractional shares now. Okay. I try to explain to someone that tokenizing these stocks and making them run on a blockchain that's public is probably one of the single biggest inventions of our generation.
It makes sense, dude.
Because it allows a public blockchain like Solana for you to see all the transactions that are out there in the blockchain.
Yeah.
And it will eliminate a lot of fraud. You can see where all the money's coming from. You can see the clusters. Like if you're a big crypto investor, you can look at a cluster map and you can see that there's thousands of people that are buying this token, or are those 1,000 people actually tied to one big wallet? Are we 6 millionaires sitting in a room buying stuff individually that's tied to one wallet? So we take our profits out and we send it to that wallet.
Okay, makes sense, because it's like you don't know who the owner of this wallet is, but you know that these wallets are public. You can look it up on. Okay,
but classic Robinhood. And I will say this, just like anyone that invested in GameStop and they were like, "Oh, we halted trading. We've got stuff that's going on."
Yeah,
So I don't think the investor got a fair shake on the GameStop situation for Robinhood, because they had to cancel trading because of their float, because of they've got to cover all these trades and whatnot from a brokerage perspective.
Yeah.
What I'll say is Robinhood also said that you can do it for like stuff that is not a stock that's not out there right now. Like OpenAI is not IPO'd. However, they were saying that you might be able to invest allegedly with OpenAI, and then OpenAI had to come out and say, we have no affiliation with this.
Well, okay, so
they're basically making like shitcoin token stocks.
I don't know how deeply you want to dive into this. So OpenAI has a crypto called WorldCoin.
Okay, they might, but I'm saying that the Robinhood saying that they tokenize it and you can trade it with Robinhood. Well, and then OpenAI had to come out and say that they cannot. And this is all allegedly reported.
Yeah. I don't know why you would trust Robinhood to agree, or like to whatever money you've invested to actually like have it come back to your wallet. Because with Dogecoin, for example, remember when it started going up and ballooning, they had like canceled trading on it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so it's like they took the profits, they took the cut and whatever. And just because you own Dogecoin, if it's not actually on the blockchain, so I guess I'm for tokenization. That is amazing, but I am do it yourself. It is not that hard. You can YouTube it, go on Solana, make your own wallet. And like you can interact with it like directly. You don't have to have a third party like Robinhood.
I mean, there's a risk. It's basically just ETFing everything is the way I describe it. Like there's an ETF on gold, but you don't owe gold. You have a price on the ETF.
Yeah. There's an ETF on Bitcoin now too, right?
I believe so. Yeah. You can, IBIT is the BlackRock one. IBIT, I believe is the ticker symbol that you can put it in. But you can invest in it like say in an IRA.
Yeah.
You put your money in the IRA. If it goes up and you've already got a Roth IRA, then you're not going to pay taxes at the very end.
So you know what's really blowing my mind? I think these ETFs are for like an older generation, because you and I both understand, like at least we have some understanding about how crypto works, that we also understand that there's no reason for a third party to kind of hold our money for us. We can do it ourselves.
The only reason it's there is because you can't invest in it any other way besides going on to Coinbase or an exchange, unless you're doing full node. Are you full node?
Full mode.
Chat, he's full node.
Yeah, and you have to be too, because it's like when it comes to personal finances, it's eliminating the third party is so important.
Well, yeah, imagine if you're in a blockchain, or excuse me, imagine you're in a Bitcoin ETF and then you find out that person does not have that Bitcoin, like similar to the FTX situation.
Yeah, but there's a high likelihood that's true. I mean, of course, BlackRock, if it's because how massive they are, they probably do have it, or they can leverage their other assets that they have to pay you. But why would you even go through that trouble? We can directly buy a Bitcoin for yourself and put it in your own wallet.
But mark it down, chat, that the tokenization of stocks or the tokenization of assets, like this could even go to, you want to go, let's say you and me want to go in on a 10-person apartment building. Yeah. And instead of getting a REIT, we tokenize that apartment building. We start selling Solana shares of that apartment building.
I mean,
I'm probably doing a bad job of explaining this as well, so please don't technicality come after me.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna write this down. We'll do.
Why don't you write that down? Write that down.
We'll do. Well, because this is a good episode. If
you haven't seen Van Wilder.
You know,
write that down.
my philosophy is kind of horrible. So we'll talk about like crypto, and we'll talk about Palantir.
You know, there's an Indian actor in Van Wilder.
Is it? No, I don't know.
It's the guy from Harold and Kumar.
Oh, okay. He's okay.
And then there's like a second one with Harold and Kumar where it's like the rise of Taj. Terrible. National Lampoon movie. Terrible.
I'd say less. I'll check it out. No.
You got to check it out. So tell me, you were going to tell me about some firefighters.
Okay, so these firefighters from Idaho, and chat, you're gonna just roast me on this because I'm not gonna get the city's name right. So this happened June 29th, 2025 in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, on Canfield Mountain. So basically what happened is there were firefighters were called out to put out a brush fire on this mountain. And while they were responding to this threat, a 20-year-old named, where is this guy's name? Wes Rowley. Allegedly opened fire and killed two firefighters whose name were Frank Harwood, who's 42, Battalion Chief, Army National Guard veteran, and John Morrison, 52, Battalion Chief with 28 years of service. And the third was injured, David Tisdale, 47, engineer who was critically wounded but survived after the surgery. So basically, this person, Wes Rowley, he wanted to become a firefighter. He lived out of his car. His dreams obviously got dashed. And the crazy thing is that I've never in our lifetime have heard about first responders, especially firefighters or paramedics or whatever, being actively like attacked.
Well,
Because-
I mean, that happens all the time. Like if it's an active crime scene and someone comes back to the crime and stuff, like you have to be ready for anything to happen, even if you're a first responder, you're an EMT, or, you know, you're search and rescue.
Well, it's beyond the pale when it comes to you're actually going to be shot at. Because, of course, everyone has that training, be ready to respond to anything that happens. But who expects on Canfield Mountain, a remote mountain, that there's going to be a actual like shooter? You know what I mean? Like who thinks of that? Whatever it is, it's a tragedy losing those two firefighters who were just doing their job.
Yeah, it's pretty wild because like in the West, where this happened, in the western half of the United States, firefighters are no joke. They're smoke jumpers that go out there and they may not see their families for quite some time. They've got to start pre-doing stuff to ridges to make sure that fires don't escape them and whatnot.
Yeah, you're right. Because, of course, like
in the West, we're in California, Idaho, Washington State. Like that's no joke. Like you've even seen one in Canada that took off and whatnot. Like if you don't do some stuff and control the brush and whatnot, like and the undergrowth takes out. Like it's all about preservation versus conserving things, conservation. But I don't want to get into like fires and stuff. But it's just a terrible thing that these first responders ended up in a deadly situation that more than likely was caused on purpose, and this was all planned out.
Or allegedly it was. And it was planned out, it's premeditated. And it's just, he committed suicide afterwards.
Yeah, I saw helicopters were looking for him. Did he ended up killing himself, allegedly?
Allegedly ended up killing himself. But the tragedy, so like, it's just, these people you're not getting paid that much. You're not, like, even though it's a serious job, you're still getting paid, like, maybe minimum, like 40 or 50K a year. And depending on your rank, maybe a little bit more. Nothing to like brag about or anything like that. So you're doing this because of the love of the game and to preserve your community and protect your community, and to face danger like this makes no sense. It's a horrific crime that shouldn't have happened, but it did. And it turns out that this person, like, he also wanted to be a firefighter, but his dreams were rejected. So I guess he like, I don't know, was just mad and like decided to take it out on these firefighters, which is horrible.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember of a time where it was a planned out event for a mass shooting or like somebody to kill first responders.
Well, have you noticed these past couple of months, like every more and more crazier events happening?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's just the news propagating it, man, to be honest with you. Like, or like, how many times this happened in the past we didn't know about it because we didn't have cell phones or like all that stuff. You're right.
You could be multiple. It's just like from the Minnesota.
I'm not downplaying it.
Yeah. But it's just like, you're right. Like the fact that we have social media now, and the fact that we have access to immediate news. And it could also be kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Right, exactly. Did this person do it because he knew that it would be, for lack of a better word, like news, like people would run with it. It's going to run, and there's going to be a breaking news.
Yeah, which is sad to think about, but that could be another motivation. This is 20, so you must have been online all the time.
I might be wrong about this, but one of the famous newscasters said the end of the news was them putting breaking news music on everything because it makes everything sound extremely important.
Yep. So, which is, it's sick. It's sick. But whatever it is, I mean, like, my heart goes out to those two firefighters, and I hope for a speedy recovery for Tisdale. I'm happy he survived, but I'm so sorry about the two that died.
Yeah. Let's move into My Roman Empire. My Roman Empire is a part of the Lucky Lotus podcast, where we're going to talk about something in history that has caught our fancy that we can't stop thinking about, such as the question that is, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? So do you have a history factoid lined up?
I do, and it's not about healthcare fraud. Okay, ready? So this was in 1561, the Nuremberg sky battle. So
1561, and there's a sky battle?
Yeah, there's a sky battle. So this is a famous painting where it depicts, it was set in Nuremberg, Germany, and it was reported that a massive battle took place in the sky. So this woodcut illustration depicted...
Is this going to aliens?
Yes.
Okay, all right, go on.
So it depicted spheres, rods, crosses, and a black triangle flying and crashing in the sky. A printed news article described aerial objects fighting, followed by explosives, and a loud crash outside the city. Some believe it was an early UFO encounter or alien dogfight. Others suggest that it's been it may have been a sundog, an atmospheric optical. No way, that was it.
Okay.
I mean,
Brijesh was there. He did his research. He's lived many lives.
If you're seeing spheres, rods, and crosses, it's not an atmospheric sundog.
Reincarnation Ronnie over here.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's why I started this podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
To don't get this information wrong. But it's a sundog is basically an atmospheric optical illusion. But it could have been religious symbolism or misinterpretation. Can you imagine?
Mass misinterpretation. Go on. You're getting a little tongue-tied.
No, but it's like
how now, brown cow.
600 people see this, and you're thinking it's misinterpretation.
The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
But basically another, and I'll post a picture of this so you can see the original point.
He never posts any pictures of anything I say.
I did. Okay, you're right. Maybe
yeah, it's what you say. You're like, I'll make sure this one's in there. I mean, that's the power of the purse.
Yeah. So, God, or maybe you should edit.
Go on. Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. You do whatever you want. I'm good with it, big boy.
A similar event was reported in Basel, Switzerland in 1566. More sky spheres and more confusion.
Well, yeah, they have old paintings that look like it would be what people would describe as modern UFOs and whatnot. Yeah. Or like if you listen to the how angels are described in the Bible or
Book of Enoch.
Yeah, not the Book of Enoch. Stop putting words in my mouth. I did not say that. You said that.
Book of Enoch. I'll tell you about that.
But if you look up, I believe Elijah was taken in a chariot to heaven that's fiery. The way it's described sounds like a vessel that has interplanetary travel.
And I'm going to get this name wrong, but let me keep talking while I look at the... Oh,
sure,
no, never mind. The Vimanas. So in Hinduism, these were the chariots that the gods or god kings would ride. And they were described as they were able to float, that these chariots would go through the sky. Maybe it was like an ancient description. Like, how are you going to describe a cell phone to somebody from 1,000 years ago?
Exactly.
So they did their best interpretation, made it into a chariot, because a chariot, it's your common understanding. A chariot is dragged by a horse.
Well,
it's dragged through the sky.
1,000 years ago. What about 100 years ago? You give someone an iPhone.
Dude, that is kind of crazy. Or explain to them what a Neuralink is.
Yeah, explain to them what a Neuralink is.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. But so this was a painting done in that was about the 1561 Nuremberg sky battle, which it coincides with, because even now massively reported flying objects are described as spheres, rods, and black triangles. The most famous one was the Phoenix Lights in Arizona, where the whole city saw it.
The whole city saw it. And I believe the mayor tried to downplay it and stuff.
Yeah, and then the mayor came out later saying, I was told to downplay it. But it's just crazy to think that we live in a day and age where I think at any moment we're going to be told that alien... I mean, the U.S. government's already come out and said that we've recovered extraterrestrial flying objects. We have about 10 of them in our arsenal so far that they're being worked on, but that's a story for another podcast. But whatever it is, it's just crazy to think how long this has been happening, that all throughout recorded human history that we've been encountering these type of mythological crafts, basically.
Yeah, I would say.
And how deeply they've influenced our own culture. At least recently.
I'm fact checking you. Everything he said was correct.
We need a fact checker.
No, I'm trying to pull up my Roman Empire. So my Roman Empire is going to be, not to just cut you off.
No,
are you done with your Roman Empire? Yeah. I just want to make sure.
Chat, I'm done with my Roman Empire.
A lot of chat says I'm being mean to Brijesh.
Who said that?
Chat.
I gotta start reading chat.
Sound off, chat.
You're not being mean to me.
All right, just a reminder, like and subscribe, ring that bell on YouTube. My Roman history fact is the London Bridge and how it ended up in Arizona. So the London Bridge is in Lake Hasavue, Arizona, and is a remarkable piece of history. It's originally built in 1831 over the River Thames in London, England. I said that right?
Yeah, you did.
Okay, the River Thames. I don't want to say Thames and everybody sign off.
Maybe it is Thames.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Thames.
Okay, we'll say Thames.
It's designed by John Ronnie, and it's served over London for over a century. So this is the London Bridge. There's been several iterations of the London Bridge. There's a London Bridge where people lived on the London Bridge, above the London Bridge. This is the granite version of the bridge. So as people know, bridges have to be repaired, replaced, all that. So the granite bridge a American entrepreneur named Robert McCullough bought it for $2.46 million back in 1968. Okay, so I don't know what that is in today's money. Let's just say 10 mil.
What was it? How much was it?
2.6 in 1968. So he saw a bridge as an attraction to draw tourists. So he moved the bridge meticulously, piece by granite, through the Panama Canal to Long Beach, California, and then trucked it to Arizona. It was over 10,276 pieces of granite.
And
how much is that?
It would be $23 to $24 million in today's money.
Okay, so it weighed 130 to 160 tons.
God.
Okay, and Robert McCullough dredged the Bridgewater Channel, transforming it into now a 930-foot bridge that you can still see today in this small town in Arizona. Yeah. But it's from London, and they had it trucked all the way across the world to Arizona in this town.
Arizona is weird. Phoenix, Arizona, and everywhere. Oh my God.
So it's paid off, and it's brought over a city that was basically nothing to 50,000 residents today. And the bridge stands as a symbol of just vision and blending British history with American history. So I just want to remind all our British watchers and all our EU and all our UK watchers.
We love you.
July 4th, 1776. We do not like you.
We'll take your stuff.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
We'll subscribe.
No, dude, that's kind of crazy. What a coincidence. We were both talked about Arizona.
Yeah, we were talking about Arizona earlier. And it's a crazy place, like 310 to Yuma. The Gadsden Purchase. Dude, it's a wild area, and it's just nothing but desert.
It is desert, and
besides Flagstaff, let's shout out Flagstaff.
We love Flagstaff.
My uncle works in a mine in Globe, Arizona, and my aunt is a big watcher of the pod. So shout out Aunt Diane.
Nice to meet you.
Shout out Donna Robb, who also watches. That's my buddy Justin.
You know what? Let me shout out my uncle, who he prolifically watches our podcast.
All right, let's go through it. Who shout him out?
Uncle Hermish from London. That's who I want to shout out.
He told us when we get 3 people to say stop doing the podcast, we'll do it. And he could only find 2. He only found 2. So he only found 2.
He left before the third person could be found.
We all knew that you were British because you didn't do the German 3. Shout out Inglourious Bastards.
Dude, I love that. Oh,
looks like an alien symbol.
What a great scene, too.
One of the best scenes in cinematic history.
Yeah.
All right, you feel very passionately about our next topic, which is Jeff Bezos tied the knot.
Okay, so Jeff Bezos recently had a wedding. Woo! Okay, so he spent over, let's see. So
second marriage.
The ring itself cost about $3 to $5 million. It was a 30-carat pink diamond.
Chump change.
Because he has a $500 million yacht that he had to destroy a bridge to have come through to see. What's $3 to $5 million? That's cheap. Okay, so this was set.
Here's the real question: is there a prenup?
I hope there is. There's got to be. There's no way there isn't. I mean, you saw what happened the last wedding he had.
Go ahead.
She took half of it, so
yeah,
definitely a prenup this time around. So the wedding was set in Venice, Italy. And it was off an island near Venice, Italy. And because I'm not going to try to say the name of it.
I know the Venetians really did not like that he was getting married there.
Dude, who cares about it?
They put up a bunch of statues.
Actually, never mind. We just talked about how we love Europeans.
Actually, shout out the Italians. We love Italians. I got my Italian shirt on from the Italian Little Hats Deli in Nashville.
Spaghetti. I love spaghetti.
I like a meatball, a calzone.
I love Olive Garden.
Okay, Brijesh. Yeah, man, if you got some Italian comments and you want to talk about this guy, he said Olive Garden's Italian. Sound off.
I'm kidding.
Go on.
Okay, so the name of the island was I'm just doing this for the chat because I'm about to mess up the name.
Go on.
San Giorgio Maggiore.
There's no way that's right.
San Giorgio So American.
San Giorgio, Papa Giorgio.
San Giorgio. Okay, so it was a Dolce & Gabbana inspired. So the wedding attire that she wore was made by Dolce & Gabbana, whatever.
D&G, Dolce & Gabbana, hello.
200 of the most famous people across the world.
Tom Brady was there. Sydney Sweeney was there.
Yeah, and they were macking it up.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard they were talking to each other.
And then later,
the Kardashians.
Of course, the Kardashians. Is it even a wedding?
Well, someone brought this up, and I'll let you go after this, like to what you got lined up. But they were talking about if you have all these celebrities, it's not like with everyone's schedules you guys can hang out. So do you think they really invited their friends to the wedding, or did they invite the most prolific people that accepted to their wedding?
And then also, what does that say about the wedding itself? Is it just more so like, is it even about love, or is it just
it's an extravagant event? I think that's what the people didn't like about it, is one of the richest men in the world through this wedding in Venice, Italy, and being a billionaire isn't aligned with European culture.
I mean, which I completely understand why they feel that way too, because it's just, if you and I know, okay, for me, it's speaking on my behalf. If I had a wedding, it's going to be my close family friends. I'm not inviting Kylie Jenner or whatever. It's just because it's supposed to be an intimate, like Tom Brady does not know Jeff Bezos.
A lot of people do that though. They invite like Michael Jordan to their wedding. If you invite people to their wedding, they'll send you back like a gift and stuff.
Because it's more of a statement than it is a actual like wedding procedure.
What if Jeff Bezos just wanted to have a wedding registry filled out?
Which then you also like see the other side of it too. You got $1 billion. Like, why not, dude?
Yeah, that's what I'm. You know what? Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Yeah, and at that point, do you really have any? I mean, of course, it's family, friends must have been invited, but it must have been also like in India. I think maybe 2-3 years ago, Abani, one of the richest families, they also invited Jim. Who was Carrie? Jim, not Jim Carrey. He was a
Carrie Bradshaw, Sex and the City.
No. Kerry was an official. You worked for the U.S. government.
John Kerry.
John Kerry was invited to this Indian wedding.
Okay.
Like, I doubt they knew each other. And also the Kardashians were invited too.
That's like Joe Biden had Indian relatives. He had someone ride him one time.
But maybe at the end of the day, at that level, it's just a way to kind of impress other people rather than.
I miss the Joe Biden just making up stories. He said that he was related to an Indian family, and there's like no record of it. He's like, I don't know. Somebody told me that. My grandpa, my father told me that.
It's way better than Trudeau cosplaying in Indian culture.
All right. I'll take it. We're not going to go into that.
Yeah, I'd rather take his made up stories than Trudeau.
I believe, and don't quote me on this, his alleged comments were, will any more pictures like this come out, Mr. Trudeau? And he said, I cannot confirm nor deny that. I like to do costumes.
He loved putting masks on.
Yeah, let's just say he's a really big fan of Aladdin.
Yeah, very big fan. Okay, so the criticism was that again, he's a billionaire, small city. No, it's not a small city, but the culture in Europe does not appreciate billionaires, or because it's more reminiscent of kings of old.
No, it's more collectivism, right? It's the collectivism of Europe versus the individualistic of Europe.
Yeah, which like. I guess in more America, like it is more about the individual here.
Look, are we going to get into Maslow's hierarchy of needs, or are you going to tell me about this wedding?
So the wedding was amazing. Of course, I wish I was invited. Maybe that's what I'm talking about.
What was the spread?
The spread: Michelin star chefs were making pasta. Dude.
The sides, they could have cured cancer.
Could have cured cancer. I would have loved some spaghetti and meatballs.
Someone out there is going to get every movie reference, I tell you, and then you're never going to understand the movie references.
Dude, that's fine. That's our dynamic. That's our dynamic.
That's the Wolf of Wall Street. The sides, they could cure cancer.
Oh my God. Damn.
Go on.
Okay, whatever. God, I hate that.
Are you wrapping this
up?
But
yeah, I'm wrapping it up. They committed to instead of receiving wedding gifts, they wanted a guest to donate to Venetian causes, so whatever that could include, like homelessness or whatever. And then they've also dedicated 2 million euros towards the lagoon's conservation, where they had the wedding held. Mm-hmm. And apparently the fireworks were so. Apparently the fireworks were magnificent. The 4th of July couldn't compete, is what they said.
Let's go. Fireworks in Europe.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So whatever, Jeff Bezos is bringing a little bit of America over there, but whatever.
I know some things that Jeff Bezos gets criticism on is that he started Amazon himself and he grew up and stuff, but then he got I think $250,000 loan from his grandparents, and they're like, well, that's how he started. It was like, okay, what am I going to give you 200? If I could give you 250 and you could start an Amazon that's as big as Amazon and some company like that, I'd do it, but there's not a lot of people out there that can do it. He did the damn thing.
Way more self-made than Elon Musk, he was of course, PayPal, whatever. But again, your family's from a diamond farm. You're old money. And on top of that, you've heard the stories about Tesla, how he sued the founders of Tesla so that he could be called a founder as well, or a co-founder. And then
I know, not to interrupt you, but there's a guy for Tesla where right before the stock popped, he got divorced. Yeah. And so then he lost I think close to $500 million in stock value from the divorce because he had to sell the stock for the divorce.
Dude,
imagine waking up every day and thinking that.
Or imagine back in 2015, someone was offering somebody 50,000 Bitcoin to pay for a house.
Oh yeah, I've seen that on House Hunters.
How stupid.
Because that's on Selling Manhattan. That realtor is the realtor that offered it, and it was like a guy that's like, "I'll sell it." Well, would you feel worse if you missed selling your house for 50 Bitcoin, or would you feel worse buying a house with 50 Bitcoin?
Let me tell you how much it is. 50,000 Bitcoin in today's money.
It's 500 times 100,000, just for easy math, or like 509,000.
Oh my God! I was about to say 109,000. That can't
No,
be
it's
it crashed so hard.
Brijesh,
it's 5.43 to 5.45 billion dollars.
Yeah,
in today's
exactly.
in 10 years, the appreciation. We're gonna do a crypto podcast.
We'll have to get our buddy John on.
Yeah, we will. John, actually, let's talk about it like right after pod. That would be a good podcast.
All right.
So it's just that and the other guy who bought pizza with Bitcoin. Like it's just a
Laszlo
story.
guy.
Yeah.
That guy, he got interviewed by Anderson Cooper, and he's like, "I got a pizza with Bitcoin."
But whatever it is, we were talking about Elon Musk and the divorce.
Right. Let's move into an ad read on your part, and then we're going to move into Six Big Beers. While you pull up said ad read, I'm going to explain Six Big Beers. Six Big Beers is like David Letterman, where we say 6 big reasons in descending not funny to funniest order about why someone needs a beer this week. So it's somebody that's having a bad week, and it's going to be 6 one-liner jokes that Brijesh and I have for that person's life, and they're having a bad life. But before that, Brijesh has an ad read.
Okay, so my ad read, shout out Luke. Call WCWS Law Firm today. Our expert attorneys are here to make the process smooth and stress-free with services like settling estates, managing wills, resolving disputes, handling trusts, and guiding you through every legal detail. Based right here in the heart of Memphis, we're your local probate pros. Reach us at 901-523-1844 or visit WCWSlaw.com now. And Luke, we can't wait to have you on, man.
Yeah, we're going to review Mission Impossible, hopefully, with
all 6 of them? How many are
No,
there?
the new one.
Oh, okay.
The newest one with the Entity, which you know nothing about. I didn't know anything about it when I went to go see it.
Is it Alien?
It is not Alien.
Okay, never mind. Whatever. I'll still watch it. Okay, so you want to go first or you want me to go?
I'll go. My 6 big beers this week is for Morin Comey, who is the daughter of James Comey, the famous U.S. FBI person. Oh, yeah. And so what does his daughter have to do with anything? Well, she was one of the top prosecutors in the Diddy case. That seems like it has been kind of fumbled. He got convicted, but he got off on all the serious counts. God. They had to drop counts right before the deliberations and whatnot, so he got upcharged. So a lot of people are sounding off that she kind of fumbled the case.
Is he not going to jail?
He is sentenced in October. I texted you this with Trey from the last callback from the podcast. Okay. So yes, he got convicted of 2 counts of prostitution, which carry a maximum sentence of 20 years if he serves them consecutively and not concurrently. Okay. So he could go to jail for no time. He could go to jail for 10 years. He could go to jail for a maximum of 20 years. But anyway, it seems like he could have gone down for the RICO and a bunch of other stuff, but the defense did not present a good case, is what a lot of people are saying on social media. So here are 6 big reasons that Morin Comey needs a beer this week. Maureen's drowning in Diddy's evidence. She needs a lifeline. Stat.
I like
Brijesh hated that one.
I like it.
All right, number 5.
I was looking up his
witnesses
age.
were blanking like they forgot the lyrics. Maureen's pulling her hair out. A lot of the witness testimony was not good. That's the baseline. I'm not going to explain every joke.
Okay.
The media's memeing her. They're memeing her combs when she slips. She's dodging X like a pro. She's getting ripped on X social media.
Which is understandable.
Diddy's lawyers are saying Biggie's ghost framed him. Maureen's just rolling her eyes.
I like that one.
The number 2 reason Morin Comey needs a beer this week, jurors are vibing for Bad Boys for Life while she's making her closing arguments.
Okay, I actually like that one.
All right. Number 1 reason Morin Comey needs a beer this week. Freak-offs became freaky dance-offs, and X won't let her live it down. So that was basically like, what is the freak-off? It sounded like it was way up here. Then it was discovered in the trial that it was not a RICO.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you've seen those protesters.
I have seen the protesters. We're not going to get into that.
Yeah.
But those are 6 big reasons that Morin Comey needs a beer this week.
Wow. The case of the century. The Epstein of
this was our OJ.
This was our OJ. Or he was the equivalent of Epstein of the R&B scene. So
I'll let you say that, not me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll take it. We'll let Trey discuss
Allegedly.
that. We'll let Trey discuss that.
All right.
When he comes back on.
Who are your 6 big beers?
So my 6 big beers are about the Liver King. So you must know about Liver King.
I do.
Back in 2021, he became super famous after he got a marketing team to kind of push his 9 ancestral traits.
Should I put you on the spot like you put me on the spot? What's his real name?
I don't know.
No, we know him as Liver King. We're not looking it up. We're not looking it up.
Ben something. I don't care.
What are the 6 big reasons that the Liver King
Well, let
needs a beer?
me just tell you a little bit of backstory. Okay, so like he was known for doing grotesque things like eating
livers, eating testicles,
testicle cereal, stuff like that.
Ancestral livering, his tenants.
It came out that he was on steroids, and it was like
Joe Rogan had been alleging he was on steroids, and he was denying it.
And then Derek from No Place No Dates, we would love to have you on too. Shout out there. I would love to have Derek on. But he was the one who got the emails between him and his doctor that was talked about, hey, I'm trying to reach this physique. I need this much, blah, blah, blah. And it was basically confirmed in an email, like without a doubt, that he's on steroids.
Okay.
And basically because it was just, he was trying to sell this image of, I'm this built because of my 9 ancestral traits, because of the food I eat. All his supplements were selling because like, hey, you can have a body like me because like I eat these things right here, blah, 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 whatever. It was snake oil 101. Recently he had oh my God, he got caught. He did his apology tour. He said it's because of suicide prevention. I lied about this, blah, like whatever. But it was all because he wanted more attention. And so he started another grift. We released a Netflix documentary, which he paid to be on Netflix.
He's got some wild quotes in the Netflix documentary.
And which didn't do well at all because he thought it would have been like the Tiger King, would have been his like re-emergence back into the media. That didn't work. And now recently not recently, about a week or 2 ago, he was making videos like Joe Rogan fight me.
Yeah.
Brought his whole family to
He's like
Austin,
on all
Texas.
fours, like running up to the camera.
Man to man, fight me.
Yeah, for the attention, right?
Yeah, for the attention, which he was apprehended by the police because that's a terroristic attack.
You have set the background. What are 6 big reasons that he needs a beer?
Jimmy.
No, I'm
You're
not.
being mean to me, Jimmy. No, we're on a tight schedule today, so here we go. So beer number 1. Liver King looks like a buff toddler who gets lost in Burning Man and ate a raccoon to survive.
Okay.
Bro didn't just lie about steroids. He tried to gaslight Joe Rogan, which is like trying to outrun a gorilla mid-deadlift.
I gave that one crickets, so just wait for a second for that one to go. Number 4.
Bro, this guy was eating bull testicles like it was a Costco sample. Meanwhile, his liver is waving a white flag like it's just drafted to Ukraine.
That one was pretty good.
Like
Number 3.
Liver King swore he was natural, which is like saying Hunter Biden just vapes. Okay, you're just jacked, red as a lobster in hell, and sweating like you're smuggling uranium through TSA.
Is that number 2 or is that number 3?
Here, we'll keep going.
Okay, number 2.
Number 2. He's always like, our ancestors didn't eat seed oils. Yeah, well, our ancestors also died at 30 and thought lightning was Sky Demon. They weren't pounding raw spleen on Instagram while flying first class to Vegas for a podcast.
All right, number 1 reason the Liver King needs a beer this week.
He's got his ancestral tenets like sleep, eat, move. Actually, I wrote a better one.
All right, well, we will cut this.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Number 1 reason that Liver King needs a beer this week.
When he finally admitted to juicing, he looked like Joe Rogan if you left him in the sun too long. He said he did it for insecure young men. Like, bro, no one's benching 405 to heal from trauma. Just say you like looking like a buff raccoon and move on.
There you go. All right, those have been 6 big beers this week for the Lucky Lotus podcast. Just going to remind you one more time, ring that bell on YouTube, subscribe on Apple or Spotify.
There we go. Guys, we still have a lottery sort of running to find out whoever, oh my God, I completely messed that up.
Whoever's going to have dinner with us at the top of the Bass Pro Pyramid in downtown Memphis, Tennessee, or we will mail them a rack of rendezvous ribs FedEx.
Oh, that sounds so much better. That sounds so much better. Why did I flustered that whole thing?
We have gone through you came up with the contest.
Yeah.
And then you keep forgetting what it is.
No, I don't keep forgetting. I don't keep forgetting it.
You're getting mush mouth or brain fart?
Mush mouth. I get mush mouth because it's like I see thousand, I see pyramid, and then it's like filling in the words in between. And it's like not working, but whatever.
All right.
But still subscribe and like on YouTube, please. And everything else too.
We're going to wrap up the pod. While we do that, we're going to go into one more ad read. We want to thank our sponsors.
There we go.
Vincent Smith at Remax Experts for your real estate needs. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, seasoned investor, or you need to move out of your current pad in exchange for a change of scenery. Vince is a lifelong Memphis area native licensed in Tennessee and Mississippi. He can help you navigate the tricky market like an expert. Call Vincent Smith at 901-240-8274 for your real estate needs anytime. He will treat you like family and he will take care of you. You can also find him at Vincent_Mid-South Realtor. That's Vincent_Mid-South Realtor.
There we go. Okay. Thank you, Vincent. I'll make sure to get your name right, which I did last episode.
Yeah, you've been putting Vince on there and he called you out on it. His wife got a good kick out of it, though.
No, it's like I'm really happy they're so patient with us.
Well, I'm really happy we have sponsors.
Yeah.
There's a lot of podcasts out there that aren't sponsored. Imagine if we waited this long to get monetized.
Yeah.
All you need is one person to pay us on our Patreon.
Hey, listen, next year we'll be like the Liver King. Oh,
the Liver King. We'll be trying to fight Joe Rogan and getting a restraining order against
we'll have
us.
our own supplements.
All right.
Bull testicles.
So we're not going to get into the case, but we do want to mention that we haven't talked about this. The Brian Kohberger murder trial that's going on for him killing multiple people that were college age in Idaho, I believe.
Okay. So can you explain the story to me? Because I only have a periphery understanding. Like on Snapchat news is what I have seen on it. Like that's about it.
I'm trying to be nice. I just said we're not going to get into the case.
Oh, why not?
Okay.
Get into the case.
We'll get into the case next week.
Okay.
We'll do a full deep dive. But what I want to highlight is,
thank you for being nice.
This was a very big trial. He was very against pleading out in this trial. And at the last moment, before they're going to move into jury deliberation, Brian Kohberger has pleaded guilty to all the charges, which prevents him from getting the death penalty. So this is kind of a death penalty conversation. There's three sides to this. One family is happy that it's over. One family is very upset that he no longer has the death penalty on the table. And one family is happy that he will have to suffer out the rest of his life in prison.
Okay, so that, I guess it begs a question about a death penalty. Like, is it better? I can understand all three sides, though.
I will tell you how I feel about it, which is a quote from The Hateful Eight, which is, you have to hang mean bastards because mean bastards have to hang. I believe that if there are no penalties that are the final solution for it, there are certain people that do not deserve to live for the crimes they have committed. And I believe this is one of them.
I can see your point too, but it's just the suffering of being in jail. Like I can understand a taxpayer paying for his meals and everything, but the prolonged suffering that you have to live with in jail, and you know how jail, like the atmosphere in the community is in there. That also in itself is like you're a rat that will never get to leave this cage, and you'll be stuck dealing with these people. Like I wonder how he's going to be treated in jail too. I don't think
probably not well.
Yeah, so it's like, of course, the death penalty, a final solution that makes sense to you, final solace, and not having it on your conscience that this man's also walking around right now, breathing air. But at the same time, like the other side of the family, where it's like, no, you're suffering inside that cage. You're not free. You're dealing with gang members. You're dealing whatever. Like it's.
Well, the U.S. is one of the last large civilization first world countries that still has the death penalty. There's no death penalty in the majority of Europe, I believe. In Norway, you go to basically what might be jail in IKEA.
Yeah,
or Sweden, excuse me.
But I mean, I don't think their crimes are as horrific as ours either.
I mean, they've had mass shooters and stuff.
Okay. So maybe I don't know why we keep talking about the legal system.
You're saying European crime is not as bad as American crime.
It's just
crime is crime.
Crime is crime. I guess I do believe in the death penalty because
now I brought him to my side.
No. It's like, if anything, it would be, if you look at it like more of like a psychopathic kind of way, it's like, let him suffer, let him live, because you don't know what happens.
Well, if you're a psychopath and you don't know what you're doing, then you're going to get a plea of insanity and you're not going to execute someone.
No, I'm saying me. If I took a psychopath kind of look at it.
Oh, okay. If you put yourself in the killer's shoes.
No. If I put myself in like if I'm going to punish this person, the best way to punish him is to keep him alive and keep him like every single day. Just remember, you're not leaving out those doors. That's the best way. Like that's what I feel like. I want you to suffer because I don't know what comes after this life, but I know in this life you're not going to get a chance to rest.
Very similar to the firefighters, we feel for the families and everyone that's 100%. Been affected and whatnot. Yeah. It was said that he had been training to be a police officer, and there were some psychological issues. Obviously, you could make a
hindsight 2020.
Yeah, that of the case. What I can tell you is this was a trial where it wasn't open and shut, that it looked like they could get a conviction to the last minute. So he kind of wrote it out and then pleaded guilty at the end of the trial is what I'm seeing from my source from the news is articles that I've read.
So our justice system's kind of fumbling a lot of cases recently.
Yeah, I would say so. Or is it they aren't presented to you? It sounds like an open and dry case, like for the Diddy situation or for the Brian Kohberger situation, until you get in the room and all the evidence is presented to you. Yeah. But that's kind of the benefit. That's not like, there's a few people that say you are guilty and you end up in like something like an Amanda Knox situation.
Yeah, that too. Do you think Amanda Knox did it?
No, I watched it on
Joe
Rogan. Yeah, and she interviewed the person that was her lead prosecutor. That was a very good episode of the Joe Rogan experience.
It was amazing, and it was still like in the comments they were like, "Oh, you still did it." Like it was, she was still getting hate for it. Like it doesn't make any sense when, especially if you see the prosecutor's side, how he had his own motivations and angle he was trying to get at. It's like, how did that not cloud the judgment or cloud the representation that he was giving of her? Because he just wanted to convict her. She's a crazy American or whatever. I see what you're saying in the grand scheme of things where it's good that you don't have like one or two specific people just telling you you're guilty.
Yeah.
That it's still like able to like come into the court of law where all sides are presented. Even if you know you're a heinous criminal, you'll still be given due process.
Yeah, that's the benefit of being an American citizen, and that is why a lot of people left Europe so that they could be judged by a jury of their peers.
Yeah. Which
has its, everything has, it's not a perfect system. Everything has its ups and downside. There are things where it's clear cut, where presented in the media and stuff, you think someone's guilty, you think someone's not guilty, and then there's a surprise verdict. Same way with there's surprises in life that go on and whatnot.
Yep. It's an imperfect system, but it's the best we've got that like we're working with, because it's not, at least you have a chance.
Very similar. We'll probably go over the Brian Kohberger case more once we know the sentencing. And so we have the soup to nuts, which is an old Latin saying like eggs to apples. Brijesh is writing something down, possibly to show me a note.
No. Brian Kohberger, because that's a really good episode. That could be a great episode.
If anyone wants to know what Brijesh is writing, he's not writing anything. He's just drawing a small fire truck jumping through a hoop in each page and whatnot. And he's going to do a little flip book.
Make me look more serious on
this. All
this.
right. Well, this has been episode 19.
Guys, so please like and subscribe. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok, on X, on Instagram, on Facebook, on Spotify, on Apple.
Yep.
Is there anything I'm missing? Patreon.
Yeah, you're missing that we have a contest, and I want you to explain to the group what the contest is.
Okay, so
redemption.
Guys, we're running a contest on YouTube. So once we hit our 1,000 subscriber, we're going to draw a lottery where we're going to put names in a bucket, and we're going to draw one person, and this person's going to be, if they're local, we'll take them to the Bass Pro Shop and have dinner with them, have them on the podcast. Even if you're not local, we'll send you a rack of rendezvous ribs via mail and still do a Zoom interview with you. So please just follow us on YouTube. Please like and subscribe. It's helping us out. We're finally past 100. We're at 140 subscribers now.
Yeah, jumped 40 in one day.
So thanks to like my brother was telling me that once you get past 100, it's a lot. It's easy fish, not easy fishing, easy rowing after that. So guys, help us reach 1,000. Our end goal. Come on, who doesn't want to get to 100,000? But we'll take it baby steps at a time. So please like and subscribe and help this podcast grow. We love to love.
We're coming for you, Mr. Beast.
Yeah, we're coming for you, Mr. Beast. And keep attacking Jimmy. I'm kidding.
All right, everybody. This has been episode 19. Thanks for tuning in to Lucky Lotus FM podcast.
This has been episode 18. Thank you for tuning into
We'll get it right sometime.
No, I love you, dude. All right.
Peace out. A-Town down.
Bye.